for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Hey, welcome back. I'm so excited to see you guys because I haven't seen you guys in like 80 years. I'm sorry. I've been an absentee. I'm sorry. I apologize. Forgive me. First things first, I want to say shout out to the YouTube creator community. YouTube creator community, man, they've treated me with nothing but respect and offering stuff and giving me things and showing appreciation. Thank you for your work. I was like, they offer courses on how to get better, everything. YouTube creator community. Thank you so much. Anyways, second thing I want to speak on, is there any housekeeping notes before we get to it? My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. This GNX album from Kendrick, the surprise, not surprise, kind of a surprise at the time that he dropped it, because he dropped it not at midnight, but in the middle of the morning. Album from Kendrick Lamar. Anyways, yeah. So first things first, I kind of saw it in real time, as most people did, of the album, where he dropped the one snippet, the minute-long snippet with the music video. And I was like, dang, why he cut it off right when it got good? And as soon as I said that, I'm scrolling, looking somewhere else, and I see Phil Lewis, shout out Phil Lewis, post, did Kendrick Lamar just post an entire album? And I said, huh? And I went to Apple Music, and I saw the full album there. And I started listening to the little snippets. I got a phone call, took the phone call for about 5 minutes or so. I went back, and it was on all streaming platforms. It was on YouTube. It was on SoundCloud, all of those things. Let me turn on this light. But yeah, man, I was like, that's crazy. He dropped the album, because we knew the album was coming. We knew there was an album. Everybody said real soon around Kendrick. He did the cover story with SZA. That was kind of like his promo run for it. And DJ Head, of course, was saying that it was coming all along. A couple things that I want to say here. Academics was wrong. Academics said he was going to leak the date that Kendrick was going to drop the album. Academics also made fun of everybody on the West Coast at that Juneteenth concert that went up on stage. He said, Kendrick ain't working with none of y'all. Kendrick ain't giving none of y'all. He used y'all to show that he was cool with the West Coast and cool with the hood. Kendrick did. I ain't know a single artist outside of SZA and Roddy Ricch on this album. And that was before me looking at the credits, but outside of Roddy Ricch and SZA, someone from Atlanta, I did not know these independent West Coast, deep. I ain't know none of them artists. So, Academics was all the way wrong with that. Kendrick reached back to the community and poured into the community and gave the community a chance just the way that he said he would. You have to admire that, and you have to salute that. So shout out to Kendrick on that. But yeah. Let's get into it. Off rip, we got disses. I seen a critiquer online, make this nice, well-produced video in the room and stuff like that, nice camera and stuff like that, nice mic. And she was just like, don't listen to this album as like in regards to the battle and the beef. Think of it as a great rap album and look at it from there and appreciate the art for what it is. And I'm like, how could you? He literally made it about his response to the entire back and forth that the entire world was talking about, the biggest rap beef in rap history. Off top. So first things first, he kind of mentions Drake a little bit. He said, this ain't about just forget him. This is about forget everybody. And then he said, I got the Super Bowl, and the only one to congratulate me was Nas. He said, Wayne let me down. I used to listen to the Carter 3. That's crazy. And Wayne responded this morning or last night. I don't know which way you want to count it. But he did respond. Let's pull that up right here. I'm about to share my screen. And Wayne was pretty much just like, don't wake up the beast. Wayne, you brought this upon yourself, my boy. You brought this upon yourself. He said, man, WTF did I do? I'll just be chilling and they still come for my head. Let's not take kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep. I beg you all. No one really wants destruction. Not even me, but I shall destroy it if disturbed. On me, love. Wayne, brother, you are the reason that this happened. You came at Kendrick first. And some people were like, Wayne didn't bring up Kendrick at all in specifics. He was just mad that he didn't get it. Wayne would have came for the Super Bowl regardless of who was chosen to perform, because he wanted to perform in his hometown of New Orleans at the Super Bowl. That's not what's going. Like, we can't act like we ignoring the big thing here, right? The big thing here is Wayne's artists had the biggest rap battle, rap beef in the history of rap music just a few months ago. The reason why Wayne was going so hard, a part of it was to defend his artist Drake. Now, Wayne and Drake have both kind of been silent about this battle, like in terms of like their, I guess, just direct connection and direct relationship. So we don't know everything, but you can't act like it ain't a part of the reason why Wayne went so hard, of why he was so disappointed and let down, and he promised his mama that he do the Super Bowl, and he's hurt to the core and stomach and everything like that, that he did get the Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans. You can say all of that, right? But the bottom line is, a large part of it is that Wayne's artist was beefing with the guy that was actually chosen for the Super Bowl in Wayne City. And he knows that, we know that. You can't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. It is what it is, right? So there's that Wayne part. But it was interesting seeing that back and forth. If Wayne wants to get into a rap battle with Kendrick, we got a whole nother thing. But I think Kendrick proved on this album once again, he is thrown off. Kendrick is crazy, bro. And he dissed Andrew Schultz for great reason. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, we can't let a comedian of another skin complexion come for our black women, our black queens, things of that sort. Protect black women, protect women, period. Let's get it. All right. So there was that. I want to get into track one. There's so much to unpack in track one. He had the mariachi singer, so he kept it LA on all levels, on the whole minority community. You know what I'm saying? He had some for the Hispanics and the Latinos. He had some for the black people in LA and black people in general. But anyways, so this is track one. The thing to break down about it, and I feel like a good kind of lesson from this album, is in life, in society, in modern society, you kind of have to put somewhat of a mask on. You have to put somewhat of a mask on to survive. You have to put someone of a mask on to make it through and to be accepted and to just do things, right? Because if you don't, then you'll lose opportunities. If you don't, you might lose some money. If you don't, he might lose a chance to go to college, to get accepted into a college, to get a job opportunity, to get this, to get that. You have to somewhat put on a mask and play into society standards. If what is you, right, naturally on the inside, is just waking up and going, blah, 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 blah. You can't just do that in a classroom. Like, if you do that in a classroom, they're going to put you in ISS, they're going to put you in detention, or they're going to put you in, this, you know what I'm saying, a special class. You know what I'm saying? That's what just they're going to do. They're going to place you in a box. And if they place you in that special class, and they're going to label you as something, they're going to give you some medication. They're going to, there's so many things that go down the line. They're going to diagnose you, misdiagnose you, everything like that. They take you to the psychiatrist, everything like that. So you have to somewhat, like, okay, I'm acting normal. This is who I am. Hello, how are you doing? This is like, you have to have communication skills and somewhat of a normalcy to operate and to even be successful in life. With that being said, also on a professional level, to build relationships and foster relationships, to build your way up, to make a lot of money, you have to kind of be likable. You have to be likable, like point blank, period. You have to be likable to corporations. You have to be likable to CEOs. You have to be likable to managers. You have to be likable to the masses. You have to be likable to somebody. If you're doing it independent, you have to be likable to, you know what I'm saying? Like the journalists, right? Like the media might be your A&R and stuff like that as an independent. You might not have the full force, machine and stuff like that, A&R, but you need to be cool with media so they can put your message out to let people know, like, this dude is doing what he's doing, or this girl is doing what she's doing independent. independently. You have to have the artists like you, the major artists, to give you a shout out. Like Lotto gave Anicia an opportunity, and Anicia let that mug, you know what I'm saying? She let it shine, and she ran it all the way to Billboard. You know what I'm saying? Um, and Anicia is independent. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like all of these things are things that you kind of need. You need to be likable. You need to kind of foster relationships and take care of them and curate them and, you know, protect them, you know, because if you burn bridges, then, you know, people are going to blackball you, going to be left behind. That's kind of the narrative that we've been fed. And that's the narrative we've been fed about society. What Kendrick is saying, I'm taking the mask off. Let's stop pretending that we like each other when we don't. And he's like tearing down society's like long-standing like standards of you have to act like you like someone to survive and keep it pushing. He's like, no, you don't. I don't like any of y'all, and y'all don't like me. So why are we acting like we like each other for the sake to make some money? I don't care. I don't care that much for money. I've already made millions on millions on millions. The the tour with the arena tour with Baby Keem was the highest hip hop grossing tour since post, you know what I'm saying, post vid, until Drake went on tour with Savage and J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he's like, I didn't need this. I don't need this anymore. And I don't like y'all. And I've been saying I don't like y'all, but now I can say it out loud, because I have the money to. And, you know, we're kind of seeing like a man, you know, although he's like calling out his hypocrisies and you know, contradictions within himself as a human being and as an adult man, he's also like just saying like, this is how it looks if you're free. If you don't care what others think. And Tyler did the same thing on his album, Chromacopia, when he was just kind of saying whatever. And he's like, I can say and do whatever because I'm free. And I've established my brand that I was free and I could do anything in a weird way, in an unconventional way. Coming out the gates as a 19-year-old, I can say that I like boys and girls, and you know, and put it over a hard beat and put 4-2 Doug or NBA Youngboy on the song, and they rapping just as hard as you know my tone is, and aggressive as my tone is over horns and you know. So it's like, I don't know, man. He kind of like was like, who said hip hop has to be this? It could be this. I could, you know, like Rob Olu said, you know, in the video where I was talking about Andre 3000 playing the flute at the Atlanta Jazz Festival, he said, Andre 3000 showed me that I don't have to write my whys like this. I could write my whys like this or this. You know, we don't have to do things a conventional way, the way that they told us that we had to do it. You can do things a different way. You can make up the way that you even want to do it in the first place. And I think that's a beautiful thing, man. That's definitely a beautiful thing. And that's like the main thing that I took away from this album off track one. The rest of the album, like I said, he poured back into the West Coast roots, from the mariachi all the way up to the bounce, the West Coast bounce sound, and you know, the hood like ratchet, like he said, he looking for the hood ratchet. Jack, you know, Taylor Swift's producer, played a large part in the album. Moment of the album for me was definitely TV Off. I love Luther and that flip. But yeah, I'll say opening track, Reincarnated was stupid. TV Off, Luther, and the Heart Part 6, where he's telling the story of TDE / Black Hippie, or I guess specifically he's telling the story of Black Hippie. But you know, just the Heart Part 6, the way that, you know, because you get far along, right? And I was singing this with Tyler. I was like, how do artists even think of stuff to continue to rap about after you told your lifelong story and you kind of been rich, and being rich has been your reality for the past few years? Where do you even go to grab new ideas to continue to tell stories through your music? And Kendrick somehow pulled out the story of Black Hippie and related it to the heart. And I was like, yo, this is crazy, bro. People who can continue to pull out new stories and flip it into an entire song and poetry and art, it's like the most impressive thing to me, bro. You know, it was kind of sad to hear him admit that he was the reason Black Hippie didn't have an album, because we all wanted a Black Hippie album. If you were tuned into hip hop and stuff, the blog era, the early 2010s, everything like that. Dat Piff, Twitter, all that stuff. We all wanted a Black Hippie album. They had the couple songs. That gangster music. No, not the gangster. I said at home. What's other? No. That's Dipset. but they had the joint where they was at like just walking around downtown LA, or like walking around LA, and they was at the dry cleaners, not the dry cleaners, but the washing machine place. They are at the washing machine place and stuff like that. They were over there. It was just a lot of nice stuff that they did that I really liked. And they had a couple songs. They had Say What's Up. Is that J-Rock? That might just be J-Rock. But anyways, I can't remember the songs right now off top. I want to play one just to even remind myself. Hold on. If you guys are wondering what I'm playing Black Hippie. Some 2011 stuff. Vice City for sure. Yeah. Say What's Up. I thought so. Okay, yeah. So Say What's Up was one of the. When we zipped that chop. I remember that. Oh my gosh, that's forever ago. But yeah. I remember all those joints. But yeah, they had like 3 or 4 of them, like kind of unofficial. And then Vice City was like a Black Hippie reunion and stuff like that. It was like the Avengers coming back together, because all of them at this point like were established big stars and stuff like that. And I wish we would have gotten that. I wish we would have got a J. Cole Kendrick album. I wish we would have got Chance and Gambino. I don't know about a Rocky and Tyler, but why not at this point? That's like 5 of them. But anyways, it was just very unique perspective on telling that story and how it connected to us. And the SWV sample, the Luther sample, oh my goodness, so smooth, so clean. It was just another variation of the "If I Didn't Run Clown on Rainbow, you should love me." Plus the All the Stars, because it's got the scissor element in it. I love the musicality. I love the singing. It's just a great song. I love the joint. I wanted to look at the lyrics for Reincarnated, bro. I wanted to look at the lyrics for Reincarnated because I have a guess on what was going on in that song, but I want to definitely look at the joint though. So my guesses are this was a pop flow on a pop beat. The first part was about BB King. I think the second part was about Whitney Houston, and then I think the final part of the song was him talking about himself to his angel and to his kind of the devil. So he's kind of like talking back and forth to the good guy and the bad guy on his shoulders at the end of the song. But I think the first couple of people he's talking about is BB King and Whitney Houston. So let me go to Genius here and see what he's actually talking about. And I don't know. I think it's always fun to kind of like try to figure out what's going on. I was 4 years old. Who is it? Who did they say it was? Did they say anybody? I didn't see anything. I don't see nothing. Okay, cynical about Judgment Day. I did bad slight progression last year. F me up. Reincarnated on this R100 plus. Body out the body. Lesson out the lesson. Let's take it back. Michigan in 1947. My father kicked me out the house because I wouldn't listen to him. It's Al Green. Oh, it was Al Green. Dang. Wow. Okay. It was Al Green. Yo, that's crazy, bro. Was it Al Green for real? Wrong. Uh-oh. He refers to Al Green, whose family lived to 1947. What the heck? It's the same thing, right? Am I tripping? Am I tweaking? Let me see. Another possibility is John Lee Hooker, a legendary blues guitarist who spent his formative years in Detroit in the 40s. He also ran away from home as a teenager. If this line refers to Al Green, Hooker was born in 1914 and he ran away at 12. Dang, that's crazy. People like knew that about these people. It refers to Al Green. It misstates his date of birth, which was 46, not 47. In this location, his family moved to Michigan in the 50s, but was born in Arkansas. Also, given that Al Green is still alive. Dang. So who is it? So they don't know yet. So we don't know who he's talking about yet. Okay. So let me see. Billie Holiday? Billie Holiday was on drugs? Let me see. So they're guessing Al Green and Billie Holiday. And someone else is like, no, it can't be Al Green. I got you. Hold on. Where we at? I'm trying to scroll back up. The woman fell to their feet, reincarnated. Billie Holiday. The first is how did people even bring this know this so quickly, bro? That's impressive, dude. So they think it's Billie Holiday? Dang, I was all the way off, huh? Oh, Billie Holiday. So that was Billie Holiday. Wow. So it was Billie Holiday and Al Green. Crazy. My present life is Kendrick Lamar. I didn't even know he said that. So he is talking to himself the entire time. And it's just him saying, like, are you using your powers for good? I don't know. That's just crazy to me, bro. Reincarnated is stupid, bro. That's what D1 says. Salute to D1 too, man. Shout out to D1, bro. Like, on even on a personal level, like D1 really solid dude. I know I had, kind of crossroads or whatever in my career, and D1 really helped me out with the decision. I reached out to D1 on a whim. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have too much of a personal relationship with them. And he hit me back and gave me like stuff in detail on like pros and cons type deal, everything like that. Like, brother, like pray about it, this and that. I was like, bro, I really appreciate that. D1 a really solid person, bro. But yeah. That was Reincarnated. Was there any other songs I wanted to speak about in particular? TV Off is Crazy is a banger, of course. And the Monster, the moment of the album for sure. Let me see what else. It was pretty much the reason why I say you can't separate this and the beef is because this album is a literal, just direct response to Drake poking fun at him for like being a West Coast guy and no one on the West Coast and no one in LA rocking with him. He's like, I got the West Coast on lock. Remember when he did the joint with the game? 99, 400. All I ever ask is 100. When he did that joint, they shot it in the hood or whatever in Games Hood. I don't know if that was Compton or whatever. I'm from Atlanta. I don't know the neighborhoods. I don't know if that was Crenshaw or Compton, but wherever they was in South Central LA, he shot it in the hood. Drake is wearing red, and this was like in the heat of like kind of their battle. He said, I think he said, "How I come to your city, take over." He said something like that, and it was like a lot of stuff. So this was back in 2015. And in 2013, in the initial response to Kendrick, he was saying what was he saying? I come your hood like he coming on around there on a Future remix. And he said, I come to your city and I told it, run and I run around the hood. Like he was acting like he's been running LA and Kendrick doesn't have any pull in his own city his entire career. Especially the fact that Drake was living in LA in the Calabasas on the LA outskirts for years and years and years, probably like a decade or whatever. And he probably felt comfortable enough in LA, like, oh yeah, I run this city. Like I'm the man in the city. Like he goes to the club and go to the parties and house of parties, and everybody look at Drake as like the top dog over there. No pun intended. And so Kendrick said, "Oh, for real? You think you just gonna come in as an outsider and really say you take over my city and my just because I don't make that type of music? I'm gonna make a whole album on you with that sound of my music in my city, bro." And he did it. So I think all of it was a response. You can't separate the two. Can't say, "Oh, the album and the beat," and they're one and the same. But yeah, that was amazing to me. Shout out to TV Off. And the other joint at first that I like, the Hey Now. I like the Hey Now too. So yeah. That's how I felt about the album. Is it my rap album of the year? No. I see a lot of people saying it's a rap album of the year. It's a couple tracks on here that I would skip, but I would probably say my rap album of the year so far. I kind of have to give it to Chromacopia. Chromacopia. I really also like Mike's album, Tierra Wax album, and then on a more mainstream level, taking myself out the equation. Lotto had a crazy album, and so did Lotto and Glorilla. They both had crazy albums this year. So salute to them. Those are like rap albums I could just think of off top in terms of like album of 2024 type stuff. And then it was a couple albums that were great that weren't exactly just hip hop all the way. Like Gambino Bando Stone was a great album. And then Layla had my favorite album of the year. Gap Year, the 18-year-old from Brooklyn, bro, had my favorite album of the year. And the best year of hip hop history, in my opinion. Blue Lips. Oh, Vince Staples. I'm tripping. Vince Staples is up there. Blue Lips, it was really good. Dolce's Alligator Bites, you have to mention that. Yeah. It's so much more. You can go Mavi, you can go down the line. But anyways, I'll stay right there. And then I really like the Concrete tape, the Concrete Volume 1 tape. I really like that one. What else? Is there any? Oh, so I say all that to say this isn't the rap album of the year for me, but it was a very great album. I loved it. I loved the concept, and it was for me. I say top 2. I say Chromacopia and then this, and then everybody else like Vince Staples, Dolce, Mike. Is that 5? Chromacopia, GNX, Vince Staples, Mike, Dolce. Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, that's my 5 right there. I'm gonna go with that. Lotto though. Am I taking out Mike for Lotto? Am I taking out Vince Staples for Lotto? I really like that Vince Staples album, bro. I'll say Lotto at 6, just to have Lotto on the top 6 type stuff. Because Lotto's album was great. But yeah, I give this out of 10. I give this Kendrick album to close everything up for Kendrick. I give it a shoot. I think I gave Chromacopia 8.9 immediate. So I'll give this. I gotta give this a 9 though. I say a 9.1. A 9.1 out of 10 for me. All right, next one. The Atlanta Dream. So here's the Atlanta Dream update. I went to the Atlanta Dream press conference, opening presser for Carl Semescu earlier this week, things of that sort. Ryan Howard was there, and it was funny. I spoke about the back and forth I had with a subscriber on the Ryan video. Let me see if I can find it. But she called like my take lazy and said like I didn't know what I was talking about and rah blah. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me see if I can find this thing, man. Okay, here we go. Need to know basis. I'm gonna share the screen. Let me share my screen real quick. I had it on the Black Hippie tab. Your thoughts on Ryan Howard were kind of ignorant and very ill-informed. Not surprised, though. You barely even pay attention to their games. So not surprised. It's her team, whether you like it, the 2 times you pay attention per season or not. So I told the person, I don't believe, like, I just don't think you're telling the truth. Like, I don't know if you can say I only pay attention to 2 games a year when I post on my channel mad press conferences from in person of being at the games, at the Dream Games. Regardless, that was that. The thing that I said, so I saw Ryan and I said, "Yo, Ryan, your people got on me on the internet." She said, "What you say?" And I said, I looked at her. I said, obviously, we all know that Ryan Howard is one of the more talented players in the world. She looked at me with a straight face. Get to the point. I said, but what is it gonna take for her to get to that on me and that level? And then I told her, and then they were in the comments like, "Don't talk about Ryan like that." she just kind of laughed and and then she got who she was walking to get, and then they kind of walked away and stuff like that. She just kind of laughed at me like, oh, whatever, dude. And also kind of like, I guess, happy that she had people defending her online. So that was the interaction with Ryan. And I also say that to say, to go back to the Bima Lil Yachty thing, and that's way off topic and stuff like that. But like, if you're gonna say something about people and stuff like that, if you're gonna critique people, keep it at their craft. Which I think Bima did with Lil Yachty, but that's what I did with Ryan Howard. And also, don't say nothing that you won't say to the person's face. I learned that dang probably, I don't know, at some point, maybe early adulthood, late teens and stuff like that. Don't say something to somebody about somebody that you wouldn't say to their face, because at that point it's gossip. And gossip, that ain't even right. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it lame, it's just not right. You're not supposed to be gossiping. So everything I say, I stand on, which goes back to the whole Kendrick situation. If you're gonna say something about somebody, bro, stand on it, bro. So many people be so scared and wanting to be liked by everybody. Everybody ain't gonna like you. So if they ain't gonna like you anyway, why sugarcoat the truth? Say what you have to say, stand on it, stand 10 toes, and say it to the people face. If you can't say it to the people face, maybe you should keep it to yourself. Maybe you're too scared to say anything at all. Then don't say nothing. Be quiet. Be a fan. But yeah, that's that. So that was the first thing. Second thing, Carl Semescu, obviously Semesco, he was talking about like kind of pushing the tempo, everything like that, shooting threes and things of that sort. And they asked him about defense. He said defense is very important to me. You can watch the press conference up here on the channel. Go back a couple videos and see that. He was talking about that. And so it'd just be very interesting to see what that dynamic looks like. Like my brother said, Hunter Cruz, like he said, the makeup of the team. It's the makeup of the team. Are they going to get more 3-point shooters? Because the dream aren't necessarily just marksman 3-point shooters. There's a lot of slashers. Like Alicia Gray, like she can shoot the ball, but she can also drive. Ryan Howard can shoot the ball, but she can also drive. Jordan Canada can shoot the ball, but she also can drive. So when you have all these slashers with 2 posts, like a Nas Hillman, she's a post. She stretched out her game to the 3 to keep herself in the league and everything, and keep herself relevant. That's great on Nas and great self-awareness. But you have someone like a Tina Charles or Cheyenne Parker who are also post-up players. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of clogs the lane, and the entire offense is kind of like pass the ball 2 times. Someone drives, they kick it out. Someone drives, they kick it out, and everybody's just kind of clogged inside the paint, and there's no type of spacing. Carlson Escu is going to space it out and bring a more fluid offense. But with that, you kind of need the makeup and the players to kind of to reflect that, right? So you need the 3-point shooters and everything like that across the perimeter, so you can go 5 out, or you could go 4 out with 4, with the 5th one on the elbow or something like that. And that's what it looks like that they're going with, and what they're about to do with the new tempo and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see who stays, who leaves. Nia Coffey was at the press conference. Nia Coffey is like everywhere, bro. She's definitely involved with the Atlanta community in the off seasons, the past couple off seasons, and I appreciate that. And Leash was there too. Like Leash is just cool as always, cool as the other side of the pillow. So yeah. It'll be very interesting to see how the Dream move forward. If the players from Australia that they drafted last season come over. Dan was asked about that. Dan Padover, the general manager of the Dream, he still didn't quite give just a straight up answer about it. He's kind of said, like, we'll see how they played this season in the NBL and see if we want to bring them over after the season. He was like, oh, well, how did they do last season? He's like, well, their season's right now during the NBA season. He's like, oh, okay, my bad. Okay, cool. He said, we're just keeping an eye on it, and then we'll go from there. So now we go to after the presser. I speak to, some people affiliated with the organization about things that we were speaking about during the season. And that was about facilities. Now, as you guys have seen, the Phoenix Mercury have been just promoting all season, recruiting free agents, the Natasha Clouds and who's Kyle Copper, that they're all like, just on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, look at our facilities, look at our locker rooms, Look at our buildings. Look at our basketball courts. Look at our basketballs that we work out with. Everything like that to really entice people. Oh man, did I even speak about the jewelry thing? Anyways, we'll get back to that. So that was that, right? With the Dream, because the Dream don't have their own facility right now. Right now, for the past few years, they've been practicing at the Four Core, which is Paul Millsap's facility out there on the east side and stuff like that. And so here we go. Here's the update, latest update. I say all that to say this: the Atlanta Dream, a member of the Atlanta Dream, told me that right now the first priority is practice facility. Practice facility is the first priority to build their own practice facility. They've come so far from where they've already been. They used to practice at the Epicenter, which is the church, Word of Faith. You know, the same thing, the same building and the same facility over there by Six Flags and Austell, owned by the owners of Word of Faith, Bishop Dale C. Bronner. They used to practice at the Epicenter, bro. This is like kind of like a rec center inside of a church, of a church-owned building type deal across the street from the church. They moved on from that, from with the core four facilities and stuff like that, but they're still kind of renting it out, leasing. They don't have their own practice facility. So the first thing is to get a practice facility. Now they said they're in the walking stages. So they broke it down to me like this. You know how they say you got to crawl to walk. Right now they're in the walking stages of getting a new home, a new arena for the Atlanta Dream. So where is that going to be? Earlier, a few months ago, when we had this exact same conversation, the idea of what it sounded like for the Dream, what they were going to do was build their own home. They were looking throughout the metro Atlanta area, and they were going to build their own stadium, their own arena. Right now on the south side over there at Gateway Arena by the airport and stuff like that, that capacity is only like 3,000, 3,500, you know, at the most, if you really, really pack that thing in. Not enough when you got 18,000 people coming in wanting to see Caitlin Clark, probably 15,000 wanting to come in to see Angel Reese, and 17,000 wanting to come in to see Asia Wilson. You know, that's not enough, right? So they all solidified that. They said, we're looking for a place where we can build in Atlanta our own arena, our own place to call home. Now it's not sounding like that. Now it's sounding like they are leaning and they want to really go back to State Farm Arena. That's where they used to be. They used to be at what used to be called Phillips Arena. That's where the Dream started. And then now it sounds like they want to go back to State Farm Arena full time and call their new home as the Atlanta Dream. Now, right now, next season, they're still on a contract at Gateway, so they still have to play on the south side. They're looking to play more games at State Farm Arena. So last season, they played 2 with the Indiana Fever, where Caitlin Clark came in both times. Both games had over 17,000 people. The second game set the record for the most people in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, for a women's basketball game. Now, that was that. This season, they said, we want to do about 4 games in the State Farm Arena. We want to do 5, 6 games in the State Farm Arena. Now, when you think that, automatically, what comes to your head? If the Aces come to town twice a season, that's 4 games a season. And if the Chicago Sky come twice a season, that's 6 games a season. Those 6 games will probably, at least 4 or 5 of them will be in State Farm Arena next season. That's what it sounds like they're leaning towards. And it sounds like in a couple of years, if all goes the way that they plan to, they'll be moving to State Farm Arena. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because just a few months ago, I had this exact same conversation with the same people affiliated with the organization, and they said, we're going to build our own arena from the ground up somewhere, some way around the country. So that's what's going on with the Atlanta Dream. That's the future of the Dream, and that's kind of the report, the update that I got. That was kind of like the most, I feel like, valuable thing that I got from that entire day and stuff like that. I met Coach Carl. He said, call me Carl. I don't really like calling coaches like their first name. It just feels weird to me. Like, I always just say coach. And even if I say their first name, like if it's like Coach Carl, I'd rather say that than, Carl. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not co-workers, we working beside each other. We're not co-workers. So he was a cool dude, though. He was a cool dude. Wife was cool too. Everything like that. She's smart. She working at the school, stuff like that up in Michigan. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who is on the Dream opening day next season. I think it's going to be a real different roster. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle their last couple years in Gateway. I'm not sure how long that, contract is for them to play at Gateway, but their last few years over there on the south side before they move back into a larger arena. Now the capacity at State Farm is, I think, like 17,000. It used to be 20,000 when I was a kid, but they took out a lot of sections and a lot of seats to put in amenities in the place. So like the renovated State Farm has the Killer Mike swag shop. It has the VIP like kind of lounge behind the basket, so it's like a club. It's like a VIP club and stuff like that behind one of the baskets on the floor. And so all of those kind of little sections and things like that. I think there might even be a Top Golf facility in there. They said that, but I never been in there since they kind of renovated the place. All of that stuff took up places, so the capacity there is like 17,000, 18,000 maybe. And but that'll be a huge difference, especially with the growth of the W. You guys see what's happening, and it's not going to slow up anytime soon with Special K on the horizon. Kalina over there in high school. It's not going to slow up anytime with Fla J coming into the league. It's not going to slow up anytime soon with Paige Beckers coming into the league. And it's definitely not going to slow up when Juju Watkins gets in the league. So there's that. Speaking of Fla J, she said, "I'm just having fun now." Me personally, I think Fla J wants to declare for the draft, but is it the best decision for her right now? Because if she declares for this year's draft, she might go anywhere between 3 and like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, what I'm saying, somewhere kind of mid to late first round when she could be the number one pick if she just waited until next year. So I think she'll just end up waiting until next year, giving Anissa Murrow her moment this year to get drafted in the first round. She comes back next year and stuff like that and becomes number one pick. So that's what I think. I think Fla J is going to end up staying, but I think she wants to leave. So if her personal want to leave exceeds what's kind of like what, I don't know, what she should do, then I think she'll declare. But I don't know nothing. That's just how I feel just looking at the pattern of things. That's that. The report. Jay Lee English called that woman with the independent Substack a liar. We all saw it. The comment section was clowning her. But what she said in that thing was that Jewel Lloyd was upset that she didn't get 20 points a game, right? Because with Nike would have gave her a bonus or something like that if she averaged 20 points a game, and she ended up averaging like 19.6, 19.7 points a game. Everybody said, this is a lie. You're a terrible person. This ain't journalism. I hate the way you said this. You need to stop. This is irresponsible, right? Big bad wolf talking, right? I said, somebody's lying. This side is lying or this side is lying. Guess what happened on Instagram later that same day? Skylar Diggins Smith reposted some stories talking about people who were only concerned about their averages or something like that, and she put 100 emoji. And she started sneak dissing Jewel Lloyd on Instagram the same time that they called this girl a liar for reporting that. I don't know who's lying, but Skylar Diggins Smith, if it is a lie, Skylar Diggins Smith is drinking the Kool-Aid and she's telling the lie with the girl. That's the thing that I don't get about this thing when people say journalists are lying or journalists are this and that. I had a situation when Dion was over at Jackson State, when I was covering Jackson State football a few years ago, and it was a situation where I misinterpreted what Dion was saying. Dion was laughing. I'm thinking Dion laughing about what was asked with the context of what they've been talking about all season, all spring season, and how they've been acting around the certain position of quarterback, right? So I'm thinking he laughing at that. I reported as such. It turns out he laughing about a prank they pulling, and it had nothing to do with that. But players ended up going in the transfer portal. Like 3 quarterbacks went in the transfer portal after that. And he said, man, this and that. I said, man, look, if your players knew that you was playing, if they knew you for real, if they knew you the way they were supposed to know you, if a report came out that wasn't, what it was supposed to be, right? Why did your players leave? Why did your players believe the report as opposed to what you showed them? Don't they spend much more time with you than we do as the media? So it's the same thing, right? If this girl ain't telling the truth, why is Skylar Diggins Smith believing that report or going along with what that report says versus what, oh, my sister's in the locker room. We know what's going on. Don't nobody on the outside know what's going on. That's another thing I really dislike. You don't know the full story, so stop talking about it. Why is you talking about us not knowing the full story instead of telling us the full story? That's another thing. It's okay. So here we go. We going to another thing now. I ain't even know I was gonna go on this rant. Angel Reese and Flage, bro. This man tweet: Flage Johnson is the best player in LSU women's basketball recent history since Simone Augustus in over a decade and a half, and even close. Everybody said Angel Reese. So now it brought up the Flage and Angel Reese thing. I guess people somewhere said that Flage wouldn't even be nothing without Angel Reese, and that's when Flage mama said she been a star when she came to LSU, everything like that. And the next day, Flage comes back and says, "Oh, y'all must forget I was on a rap game. I was on America's Got Talent, everything like that. As a kid, I've been had motion." What I want to say about that? Flage is young. She ain't need to clap back. Flage, if you on Forbes list, Billboard, BET Awards, you performed at the ESPYs, you got a song with Wayne, and you performed at Louisiana Fest, and you the leading scorer in the SEC. Why is you clapping back at anybody? You got a national championship. You are Flage Johnson, bro. You don't need to clap back at nobody. And I understand we humans. And every now and again we're gonna clap back at somebody. I just clap back at old girl telling me to hold on. I'm gonna share the screen again. I'm gonna share the screen just in case you missed it, because we got a couple of viewers in here that wasn't in here before. I was just clapping back at need to know basis just about 10 minutes ago, talking about I ain't watch no games. You seen me posting the Atlanta Dream press conferences talking about I ain't watch no games. I'm at the press conference. You gotta go to the game to go to the press conference. But anyways, going back to that, man. Flage don't need to clap back. But she's young. She's like what, 20, 21? She just turned 21, things of that sort. Happy belated, by the way, big foe. She didn't need to clap back. This whole Flage versus Angel Reese thing is ugly. I wish she could just go to either one of them. They both got podcasts and they both come out the same day. They both come out on Wednesdays on YouTube. I'll be watching both of them. I watch Angel Reese's a lot. I watch Flage's a lot and stuff like that. They need to go on each other's podcasts and piece it up in public. Just like how it was with Takeoff and I mean not Takeoff, God rest his soul, with Quavo and Offset. The same thing needs to happen with Flage and Angel Reese, where they show, instead of just saying it ain't no love lost, we ain't as close as we used to be, everything like that, to like in person talking it out. The way that Kobe and Shaq sat down after Kobe retired, that's the same way that it needs to be with Flage and Angel Reese. They both have podcasts, and both the podcasts come out the same day on YouTube on the same platform. Before Unrivaled gets started up in Miami in January, Angel need to go back home to LSU and have that sit down with Flage. You know what I'm saying? It'll go viral. Both of them will make money off of it, and they can settle their differences on camera in public, and people can stop these narratives. Because see, the thing about it, when people say, "Oh, it ain't none of your business," we just stand where we saying y'all don't know the full story. You give space to people to create narratives. You give space to people just to say whatever they want to say. And then I feel like it really becomes dangerous at that point, because when you give people the imagination to come up with whatever they want to come up with, they're going to come up with a whole new thing. And now you got this thing of, and now you reading that. And now maybe I should have a problem with Flage. Maybe I should have a problem with Angel Reese. It don't even need to get to that. The fans don't even need to get in between y'all to create a narrative, to create something that wasn't there. If you just tell the people, "No, this is what it is. We on camera, shake it up." In this age generation and stuff like that, nothing don't matter until you do it on camera anyway. If you ain't do it on camera, it ain't matter. It ain't count. That's why people saying Angel Reese wasn't working this offseason, because she doing everything on camera but playing basketball. And the girl working out every single day, she just doing it at 5 a.m. And the rest of the day, she got to be Angel Reese, the celebrity, the influencer. So there's that. What else do I want to say? That was LSU, Skylar Diggins Smith. We touched on that. Atlanta Dream. We touched on that. I want to watch the Beamer and Yachty thing. Might as well while I'm live, bro. We gonna watch this Beamer Yachty thing, bro. Shout out to Beamer. Shout out to Yachty. Oh, I ain't even shout out Gino. Man, hey, shout out to Gino, bro. Congratulations, man, on breaking the record. You know, short. Um, yeah. I didn't watch the highlights or anything like that of that game, but it was dope to see all the players back. Maya Moore. It's cool seeing Maya Moore outside again, man. Like, I don't know. I hate when people just like disappear and stuff like that from the public eye. I get it for your mental health, but like on a selfish level, I just be like, dang, man, like I miss you. I miss seeing you. All right, anyways, here we go.
Reacted out of emotion, and it was corny. You know, when I step back and I look at myself, I was like, ugh, that was corny. You know, as a man to another black man, I was like, man, that wasn't like me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it came from a place of like passion.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was from a place of passion from a nigga who I spent my entire life dreaming about Nike. You feel me? So like I think it was just a place of passion. But still that's no right. I didn't know right there. I mean I definitely just
Um, it seemed like he's battling, trying to take accountability, but still like trying to stand on what he said. I want to say I appreciate the attempt. I appreciate the attempt. Yachty's still young, bro. Yachty's still young. I appreciate the attempt. I feel like he's thinking in the right direction. He's just not quite there yet. And that might come with age. That might not come at all. That might just be his body, bro. That might just be who he is. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the attempt. And I appreciate him acknowledging the situation of what's going on and like the toxicity of the, you know what I'm saying, of the reality of the situation type deal. While I'm on here, that's why I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I really like what you call um I really like going live. Let me see what else I could say here. Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll just look at these trending topics before I get into this Khalid situation. So Jay-Z's trending because people are talking about they're talking about Kendrick being the greatest. Kendrick is the greatest, bro. Kendrick is the GOAT, bro. You got said J. Cole. J. Cole threw himself out of the discussion. It's 3 stacks. 3 stacks is just like I feel like Pac and Big, bro. Yeah, they were great. High level rapping, some of the best rapping we've seen. Higher peaks than arguably anybody. But when the sample size is so small, yes, you might say, Outkast rap for 20 years. Okay, Outkast rap for 20 years. They really stopped rapping for real, putting out new music as Outkast after '04, after '05, after '06, bro. After Diamond Smell Like Bo Oh Bo. That's like the last time they put out music, new Outkast music. The rest of the time, and then International Players Anthem was '07. Ever since then, with Stacks in particular, it's just been guest appearances on features and stuff like that. That's just what it's been, you know what I'm saying? And then he went radio silent after like 2015. And he only popped up on like occasional. He was on the Goody Mob album in 2020. He did the joint with Killer Mike, so he showed up for the Dungeon Family stuff, and that's pretty much it. And the Kanye West song, "The Life of the Party," and he also did 30 Hours. But even on 30 Hours, he just sang. He didn't even rap on that. So yeah, after 2015, Andre 3000 went ghost as a except for the only exception was for Dungeon Fam, where he came out for the Goody Mob album and he came out for the Killer Mike album. That's it. So it's like with that small sample size, can you really say it's like when people go with the Gambino versus Tyler the Creator thing, and they're like, Gambino doesn't have enough. There's nothing you can say, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say Kendrick is over 3,000, bro. And Biggie and Pop, because they just have too small of a sample size. Yes, the peak might be higher, but the sample size is too small. Nas, like, Kendrick makes better music than Nas. You know what I'm saying? And that might sound like a hot take, but you just have to be real. You just have to be real with yourself, bro. Like, how many Nas, even the Hit Boy joints, the Hit Boy Grammy Award winning joints with good beats. How many of those songs do you still play on replay versus like Kendrick? So yeah. Kanye is a great rapper, but Kendrick is definitely a better rapper, lyricist than Kanye was. Eminem is great. That's a niche thing. I feel like that's definitely a opinion thing. Like, either you just like Eminem more or you don't. Like, it's kind of one of those acquired tastings. But I think technically he's a great technical rapper, one of the greatest ever. Obviously, shout out to Eminem. But yeah, I think Kendrick is better. See, this is opinion. Wayne and Jay, I think he's just better. I think he can do things that they can't. That's just my opinion. But I'm gonna get to this Khalid thing later. I'm gonna stop this right now. Thank y'all for joining and for watching. This was fun. Just a quick little stream for Saturday morning. Y'all have a great Saturday. I might be back. We'll see. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. My name is Rashad Milligan. This is the Road to 5K. So it's peace.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
We can't X Rashad question.
Hey, Rashad.